Hello everybody, Robin at Toadstool Tarot here, and I got a deck today that even though I haven't yet used, I've entirely fallen in love with. It actually came very well wrapped in, boxes and paper and more paper and tied up with strings and a little wax seal on it. It's called the Carte Postale Tarot, and it came all the way from Estonia, which presented some problems from the postman for me. No fault to the sender, but my post office gave me quite a trial getting it, and it took, a month or more to track it down, and finally had to go down to the post office this morning and find it there and fetch it before it was returned because they needed me to sign for it. Anyway, that's the postal people's problem on my end. Well worth the effort and the wait. It's an absolutely beautiful deck in a magnetic little enclosure box. And I have seen walkthroughs of this before, but even though they're very nice, I don't think they give it full justice. I'm not sure the camera really captures it that well. I think you actually need to have it in hand to appreciate its beauty. It's a limited edition. I got number 105 of 500. And like I said, it's in this, a nice, sturdy, magnetized box. Has a kind of a marbleized paper look to it, nice and slick. There's the High Priestess image on the front, a little postage stamp. And inside it says, it's the past that holds the key of understanding the present and foreseeing the future. It's a beautiful little treasure of a box. And what it looks like, and what I felt like I wanted or needed, was a deck of antique photograph cards, like old tintypes or something, like I would have collected years ago when I belonged to a flea market group called the Breakfast Club that would meet in a local diner and then go do the flea market and wade through stuff sold from old people's attics, and like family photographs from decades past. So this feels sort of like an ancestors deck. The cardstock is pretty stiff. It feels pretty slick. It's matte, but it's a nice feel to it. I don't know if you can see the pattern. There's a little bit of a floral pattern on the yellow back of the cards, but it doesn't. I don't think it photographs very well. These are normal tarot card size, I believe. They feel that way and look that way. And I don't know how these cards were done. They have the feel of actual collected vintage photographs. She has sort of handwritten, the creator's handwritten in her own font, the names on each of the cards. So it's as if she has curated a collection of old hand-painted or hand-colored, hand-tinted antique photographs and decided which ones correspond to which card in the tarot, and I think they all do really well. There were some elements that were added, a couple, like here's a heart and a sword here and there. But I feel like, and some of them fit so well that they even make me wonder how she found these cards and these poses, and if she didn't, restage them with models or something. But they're so convincing that I don't believe she did. There's two lovers cards. This one and this one, and they have such a different feel to them that I think I'm going to leave them both in the deck. I think they sort of read differently. They follow the Rider-Waite-Smith system so well that I'm just sort of dumbfounded. And the colors are really rich. They're subtle but rich. I think when I saw them photographed, they looked a little bit faded or washed out. Sort of faded like old photographs might be, or if you'd left them in the sun a little bit, how they get kind of sun bleached. But these have such a charm to them. And they also have a kind of an eerie, spooky quality to me, the way that a lot of old things belonging to people who have since passed away sort of have sort of a lingering, ghostly feeling. I think they are perfect in time for me to use in October and around Halloween. Somehow they have that kind of feel to me, and some even sort of bordering on masquerade or seance or something. I don't know. I don't really do ancestor work, but this feels like it would be a good deck for ancestor work. I'm hoping I haven't been reading out the cards, so I'm hoping you've been able to read the titles, or maybe you can just tell by looking at them which card they are, because I think they do really well. This one, the Seven of Swords, really stuck out to me when I first saw my first walkthrough of it. It really has that sneaky feel that the RWS has. This one's the only card that isn't a photograph. It looks like an old painting or illustration, but it still fits well enough into the deck that I don't feel like it stands out or is an oddity any more than the poses and the rest of the cards. I'm not sure exactly why I was drawn to this deck. I saw it, and it was at a time where I felt like, gee, I really would just like to have some old antique photographs to daydream into. And then I found this deck, and it's just perfect. Really fits the bill. It's so well photographed and so well put together. And I like the cardstock. It feels like it may not glide quite well. It might clump, I'm not sure, but they don't stick. I'm just thrilled to have this. See, here's the Queen of Wands, and they included a black cat. It's just perfect. Even though there's no wand on the card, you get the same feeling, I believe. I hate to jinx this. I'm going very quickly because my camera often turns itself off before I finish, and I have to do the whole thing over again. So if you need to, feel free to pause to take in the cards better, one at a time. I think that's Mark Twain. Ordinarily, I don't like to order cards from abroad because I do tend to have trouble waiting a long time for them when they come from Eastern Europe or Asia. But, and I'd almost given up on these, but I really encourage you, if you fall in love with them like I did, to take a gamble. And it's not much of a gamble. Like I said, I think mine only took a couple weeks probably. It's been sitting in the post office since late August, and I didn't know. And here we are near the end of September, and I just got them. But that's on my post office and me, not on the sender. So that is the Carte Postale Tarot. And it doesn't come with a book or a guide or anything. But if you read the RWS, you should have no trouble reading with this. So I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will see you all again soon.